I would like to invite Steve out.
Thank you very much. Let's chat for a few minutes about what we're trying to do here.
In 2000, I made the decision to join Apple, reporting to Steve Jobs. And Steve said, Ron, I just want you to run retail, and I want to serve people well.
I was the vice president that ran all of their Americas and Asia Pacific business. And I would say, you know, I had the best possible role at Apple because Steve liked me and he left me alone. And any other combination of those two things is really uncomfortable at Apple.
And so then I really, from day one, spent a lot of time thinking, how do I bring my faith to the customer? How do you make love visual through work? And that's what we did at the Apple Store. I had been trained at the Harvard Business School, you know, and I understand how secular people manage. I had to think through, how do I translate the gospel into a secular world? We spent a lot of time trying to figure out, you know, why are we doing these stores? What is the mission? It was never about making money. We came down to two simple words: enrich lives. We're gonna enrich lives. And if you think of walking in an Apple store, you see people and you see products, and that's it. Well, the design of that was to connect people. So we had to get everything out of the way or that wouldn't happen, right? People come to the Apple store, why? Because they love the relationship they have with that employee. It's really deep, it's really personal. That employee is looking not in your pocketbook, they're looking in your heart. And they're trying to make your life a little better. And that was what Enriching Lives could do. And it was really gratifying to see us take that mission, build it out, and end up creating the most productive retail stores ever created.
Sales in its essence is actually being a servant. You're serving that person to understand them at a deep enough level or an honest enough level to say, I can help you. One of the reasons why Steve wanted me to join Apple is to help change the sales culture. They had had some ethical problems in the previous year and a half. So I came in and said, all right, I'll change it, but I'm going to change it my way. So I actually have something that's affectionately known as JB's Rules of Success, based on biblical principles. And many of my worldwide organizations would keep them on their belt with their badge. And what it did is it gave them principles to think about how we wanted them to act when it wasn't so clear what they should do. And for the most part, it really worked.
So that's what I wanted to show you today. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Both Tim and Steve particularly are very deep thinkers and have thought a lot about faith and belief, both really open to asking hard questions about, well, how does that really work? And if that's true, why this? Which are exactly the questions we all should be asking, right? And Steve was one of the most intentional people I've ever met. And he was very intentional in those last years about where he spent his time and where he was going to leave his mark and how he was going to leave Apple. And through that, though, there were a lot of us that had a chance to pray for him and encourage him. There was just this sense of him wanting to make every moment count because he wasn't sure how many moments he had left. It was pretty unique to watch.
You have to ask the question, how do you love your neighbor at work? Who is your neighbor at work? A neighbor is someone who happens to be in the walk of your life. So when I see someone getting help at the Genius Bar at an Apple store, our genius is not fixing a computer, they're restoring a relationship. And when they do that and you see those two people together, that's love made visual, right?
The words we want to hear most at the end of our life is, "Well done, thy good and faithful servant." Now, the wonderful thing about that doesn't have anything to do with power or money or affluence or influence or any of that, because the Lord gets to decide all of that. He can take anybody he wants and put them in any spot he wants.
What Christ did, when I look at, the gospel, he saw a need, he helped. When you make love visual at work, you focus on what Christ did, you identify problems and you help, right? You help people.
Ultimately, whether you're selling a service or product, whatever you're doing in business, it's about people. And the Lord's in the people business, so we should be too.